Okay, everybody, let's take it from the top.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Hi, hello everybody, and welcome back to D Plus Us, the show about all things Disney. I'm one of your hosts, Griffin Tanel, Griffy D-Pad, and with me as always is the wonderful, the amazing Mr. Mitch George. How are you doing today?
You know how I'm doing.
Yeah, you're annoyed.
I'm watching a lot of television these days, Griffin.
Yeah, hey, you got some time to catch up on games, catch up on some TV, because it's not like you're going anywhere.
No, I don't have time to catch up on games because all of the games are on a different floor of my house, and stairs scare me.
Did you not just get a Switch?
That is the one thing that I've moved into my bedroom. Started Bowser's Fury for the first time. That's pretty cool.
Great. Where are you with Epic Mickey? I know you were talking about playing that at some point.
I gotta... okay, so the challenge with that is that I have that game physically, and unless it's in the games case right next to me, which I don't see, it is in my carrying case. And guess where that is, Griffin?
Where is that, Mitch?
It's downstairs.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. We're not here to talk about Epic Mickey yet.
We will at some point, but...
I will, when I finish Bowser's Fury, it's next on the agenda, all right?
That is
How
fair.
about that?
That is fair. Bowser's Fury is an excellent
Although I think we
game.
got some Kingdom Hearts still to play, or Aunt's gonna be upset with me.
I mean, yeah, I should probably get back to playing too. Anyways, what's up, folks? Welcome back to the show. This is a show about all things Disney, where we talk about anything under the Disney sun, whether that be movies, TV shows, theme parks, etc. Today, we are talking about something over on Hulu. So I want to give you guys that preface. This one's a little bit more adult than some of the other stuff we'll talk about, but also, if you are in America, it's another subscription. Hulu is not the same subscription as Disney Plus, even though it is still available through Disney Plus. So, given that preface to everything, today we are talking about...
I will, before we do that, going into the international side of our podcast, on other services, it's part of the Star Banner, or in other regions, it's part of the Star Banner. So if you are not in the Americas, you can get it there. If you are in the Americas, VPNs exist in Canada as very close, as your president likes to continue to reiterate.
But also, we're at a point now where I think Disney officially finally owns all of Hulu.
They do. My understanding is they're going to rebrand the Star Banner worldwide as Hulu, but it'll still be part of Disney Plus. So hopefully now that they own it all, it just comes together as one big package for you. Y'all south of the border as well, although you haven't earned it.
We haven't earned much, man. Have you seen where we're at these days? Not the point. Let's talk about...
Not talking about that.
A little bit of housekeeping before we jump into Predator Killer of Killers. First off, hi, hello, thank you for listening. If you're listening on podcast services, we are also a YouTube channel. You can head on over there and check out our lovely faces and get up that subscriber number up for us. Hey, yeah, thank you. Please do that. It gives us potential more opportunities for cooler guests and whatnot. Ideas to eventually.
I got an in on a guest, so we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Is it the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, probably.
Hell yeah. Also, check out our short series, Adventures of a First Time Pass Holder, where I weekly go through doing some stuff at the parks. Also realizing I need to upload a video episode of that today. So yeah, go check that out. Short series both on YouTube and on TikTok. And yeah, keep an eye out for some really exciting stuff coming soon from us. We're working behind the scenes on something pretty cool for the channel that I'm not going to say much more about. But keep an eye out, it's coming soon. I know full well we have
It's as soon as,
date.
Griffin shares some of the workload and gives me some stuff to do.
Which
will never happen.
We're at a point where it's all design stuff. Like, that's my bread and butter. And
I know, and I'm not artistic in the slightest. I'm lucky you still let me come here and talk about random shit on the internet.
This is gonna be a fun episode. I'm really excited to talk about this one. Today we're talking about Predator Killer of Killers, releasing June 6, 2025, exclusive to streaming. Directed by Dan Trachtenberg, the director of Prey and the director of the upcoming Predator Badlands. Based on, of course, the Predator franchise, starring Lindsay Lohanche, Louise Ozawa, Rick Gonzalez, and Michael Vine. A runtime of about 90 minutes. And an incredibly just surprising movie for me entirely. Oh yeah, the other one I wanted to mention was music by Benjamin Wallfish, who has one of the most insane careers when it comes to film scores that I have seen lately.
It's a bit of a roller coaster ride.
It really is.
Speaking of, the longest, tallest launch coaster in Canada opened today, about 40 minutes outside the city. So when you're here, eventually, at some point in the future, that'll be there.
What's really interesting about this man is that this is his third movie out this year with music. He has 2 more coming out this year.
That's crazy to me. This dude doesn't stop.
The other movies he's done this year are Wolfman and Until Dawn. And then he also did the music for The Conjuring, Last Rites, and Mortal Kombat 2. So, dude does good work.
The highest of highs and the middest of mids.
He's done bad on other... In relation to Predator, he's also done music for the Alien franchise, particularly Alien Romulus, which, if you haven't seen, is amazing. And a bunch of other stuff. And a bunch of horrible stuff. He did Twisters, which is great. He did Kraven the Hunter, which sucked. He did The Flash, which sucked. He did Hellboy, which was...
The score was really good in The Flash. I'm just going to say it. Like, the music in that movie was good. Mm-hmm. Kind of everything around it was not.
Yeah, he's kind of all over the place. But, like, in terms of stuff. But the actual meat and potatoes of it, like, that he does is awesome. The other thing I wanted to mention for you here is that this movie was animated by, I had it written down.
The Third Floor?
The Third Floor, who have a laundry list of film and television they've worked on, including recently Daredevil Born Again, The Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, Spider-Man Homecoming, as well as some work in games with the Destiny franchise, Doom, the Resident Evil franchise, but also with theme park attractions.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm kind of surprised by that.
Including the horrible ride that is Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon. That ride is garbage, and I hate it. With a fiery
I kind of want to ride it before they eventually get rid of it. I'm not gonna lie.
And also Fast and Furious Supercharged, which is just
also awful, isn't it?
Also awful, but like it's still Fast and Furious, so there's still a part of my heart that wants to love it.
It's all about family.
But in terms of like just better rides, they also did animation for Skull Island, Reign of Kong, Harry Potter: The Escape from Gringotts, and Minion Mayhem.
So they like to work with Universal.
They do a lot of work.
Specifically Universal Florida.
I think, I was going to say Fast and Furious Supercharged, but that is no longer in California. They got rid of it for the new roller coaster they're building. The drift coaster.
But I think the rest, I'm doing a quick check.
I think Fallon's there.
I think the rest are all Florida.
Mm-hmm. I've ridden most of them. The only one I haven't ridden yet is Minion Mayhem.
So that's one of the things is the last few times I've gone to Florida, we've only done Disney, and I really want to make a point of the next time we go doing Universal as well. But that'll be hard for the kid.
Well, next time you come down, there'll also be Epic.
Well, and that's part of the problem, right? Like we've done all the Disney stuff, but I like the customer experience of being in the Disney bubble. So I don't know if I'm ready for, the rest of Florida.
You'll be fine. It's a little different, but you'll be fine.
Let's get back to talking about Predator, because I don't think we should be talking about Minions on a Predator episode.
Anyways, this is the anthology show, broken up into 4 parts: the shield, the sword, the bullet, and the battle. Mitch, what did you think of Predator: Killer of Killers?
I just want to preface this with I'm not an Alien or a Predator guy. I think in the life of either of those franchises, and I kind of intertwine them because of AVP. I've seen Alien versus Predator. I saw that as a kid, which probably is why I haven't seen the other movies. I've seen the only proper Predator film that I've seen before this was The Predator, the 2018 film directed by Shane Black. And I saw it specifically because it was directed by Shane Black, because he directed my favorite Iron Man film, Iron Man 3. And he directed The Nice Guys with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, which is a fantastic film. Everyone should go see it. That movie, The Predator, is really, really bad. Like, laughably, why am I watching this levels of bad? So I would love to go back and just watch the other films in the franchise because I know there's this storied history with Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first and what's his face? Is it Danny Glover in the second?
I genuinely do not know.
Nailed it. Danny Glover, Gary Busey. So I'd love to go back to that late 80s, early 90s nostalgia. And I've heard such fantastic things about Prey. I've just never seen it. So now I've got this list of movies I got to go watch. And of course, no matter what I want to go and watch, Griffin's going to say, hey, we're going to talk about Tangled today. So go watch that instead. Oh, I guess there goes my whole evening.
The next movie
But no, I don't have
Fantastic Four, man.
Well, yeah, I know, but I have to go to a movie theater to see the Fantastic Four.
Godspeed. Good luck.
Or are we gonna, or do you want to talk about, the Fantastic 2005?
Or Fan4 Stick or Rise of the Silver Surfer. We got options. That's all I'm saying.
I know. When did that first one? Did I get it right? I don't think I got it right.
Yeah, it's early 2000s.
It's in that range, right? Like I'm not crazy. Where's IMDb?
What's fun is I think I had a thumbnail prep for that just in case.
The challenge is 2005. Freaking nailed it. Let's go.
You're on a roll today.
I'm killing it, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm happy to watch that and we can put that out before the new movie comes out in a couple of weeks. I'm good with benching this one for a bit. Like it's all good. And if we did actually do that, and Griffin, listen to my crazy ass, then you're listening to this right now. And it's very odd to think that
if we did that
happened or it didn't. And either way, this conversation is
if we did
totally
that, go
irrelevant.
listen to that episode. If we didn't,
didn't, drop a comment reminding us we should go and do that. So I really enjoyed this. I love the idea. Ugh, what the frick just happened to my voice? There we go. I love the idea of an anthology film in any universe because I think it's an interesting way to tell stories this one doesn't do them as much as I'd like to separate itself from other films because it really is just person has problems, monster arrives, everyone tries to kill monster, and then it ends up culminating in the battle at the end, which I think was nice. But as an anthology itself, all of the stories kind of ended up in the same place, which was a little disappointing for me. I like the idea of anthologies coming in and just telling different stories than what's been told previously in a given universe.
See, it was disappointing
and this didn't really
up until
do
the
that.
end when I realized, oh, that's why they're coming together.
Because it's all about family, like I said earlier.
For me, I was very surprised by this movie. I'm very much in a similar boat to you, where Predator is just not something I've ever cared about. It's a movie that I know very well, but kind of through osmosis. It's kind of like that Family Guy effect, right? Where it's you see
everyone knows the get to the chopper, but that's about it.
All of the bits of it.
Yeah.
Even if you've never seen the whole movie. The only one I have seen that I really love is Prey. In this movie, these little chunks are incredibly similar to Prey, and I think that's why I really love it. I think it's also established a really cool bit of lore that I don't really know. But this idea of, I'm going to absolutely butcher it, but the Yatja, taking prisoner the people who have won.
Yeah.
Right? Is such a fun idea. It lends itself to animation. I think this franchise in general lends itself to animation very well. Because they picked, I think, 3 eras that can be very stylized for animation.
It also led to some interesting bits when it came to the battle at the end with the weapons that were chosen based on the era or based on their tribe, so to speak, and getting that 1700s pistol that's going to do literally nothing was really funny.
And yet is still the weapon that turns the tide of that entire battle. Yeah, I really love what they did here. I think the animation style is excellent. We were talking about it, and it's something I think it's mentioned it's mentioned on the Wikipedia page for this, but 2 of the very heavy stylistic inspirations for this are Akira and Arcane. 2 incredibly different animated projects, but 2 of my favorite animated projects.
You're going to hate me when I say I've seen neither of them, aren't you?
I've been yelling at you about Arcane for years now. I'm not surprised
Look,
by that.
I watched K-pop Demon Hunters today at your recommendation, and you were absolutely right. So guess what's next on the goddamn list?
Arcane is 2 seasons of television. It's not like you're going anywhere.
Well, shut up. How about that? Huh? I got a life. I got things to do.
Well, we're going to back up a second. You haven't seen Akira?
No.
Shame on you. Shame.
Give me an easy way to watch it and I will, but there isn't one, so I won't.
I mean, allegedly there's one. But yeah, you can very much see the style of this one, especially in the action of it. The action, I think, is where this thrives. The little character moments are nice, but when you have an anthology film like this and you are like essentially condensing these stories down to about 20 minutes each, you're not getting that. So that's why I do feel like this very much feels like bite-sized bits of Prey. Prey is a fantastic movie that we will talk about maybe someday. Maybe right before Predator Badlands, if we decide to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, having seen this, I'm now more invested in this franchise because I think what this did a really good job of was expanding on a universe that for me felt fairly one-dimensional, right? It is monster of the week, shows up in a place, hunts down a bunch of people, right? I think the Predator, the film I mentioned from 2018, tried to do a bit of that and expanding on the alien technology and how that can integrate, into modern society and how they could potentially, abuse that and do terrible things with it. I kind of want to forget that movie ever existed because I think this does a way better job of setting up the Predators as a species, as these champions, and the idea of trying to find the best of the best to challenge themselves with from any given planet. I do wonder if we go back to the film before The Predator, which was Predators, starring Adrian Brody, that seemed like it may have been a similar premise of dropping all these folks onto a planet, and it was sort of like The Deadliest Game, but with alien in hunting instead of humans hunting humans. So that would be really interesting to go back and watch in hindsight to see if there's any of these sort of tidbits as to the world that Dan Trachtenberg and team are building here between the 3 projects they've done thus far in Prey, Killer of Killers, and the upcoming Badlands.
Yeah, I think what's also incredibly unique about this movie is how it was announced. Nobody knew this movie was happening until like
a couple months ago.
Before its release. Like, it was announced in April, and then it was out in June. And we just never see that, especially for a streaming project. And to have that hype around this, I think, really lends itself to it. It's something we never seen, and you have to be incredibly confident in your project to nail that. And I really do think
they kind of did. Yeah.
That said, I don't remember seeing anything about this movie after it came out.
No, it wasn't really talked about all that much, and it's interesting talking about it now, a month removed from its release. It dropped on, like, I saw it pop up on Disney Plus. I'm like, oh, that's neat. I threw it on. I watched the first 2, fell asleep through the third one, and then woke up for the finale. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't really feel like I need to go back and watch the quarter of this movie that I missed. And then you convinced me we were going to talk about it, so I went back and watched the quarter of the movie that I missed, along with the other 3/4 of it. But it kind of just came and went, which is one of the risks, I think, of these day-and-date releases on streaming.
It's right. I think there's a bigger conversation to have about just with that, with like when it comes to just like animation in general. Because I think that might have been part of the reasoning behind A, making this a streaming-only movie, and B, making it a surprise release. Animation is a hard thing to sell right now.
Look at Win or Lose. That did the same idea. It came and went on Disney Plus. They really haven't been.
For me, the 2 big movies that I can relate Predator to right now are K-pop Demon Hunter and Elio. Elio, which we will eventually get around to talking about at some point. Probably.
I'm sorry. I meant to make it to a theater, and then I'm now a broken human being. So
you are fine. You are injured. I'm not going to give you shit for that one.
You can. It's fine. I get shit about the injury every day.
I'm going to give you more shit about not getting to play Epic Mickey than I am about you not seeing it.
I'm working on it. I just want to finish. I want to finish Bowser's Fury first. That feels like a smaller experience.
But you have these 3 kind of similar. I'm not very similar, but you have these 3 animated movies that all released in very unique ways. I think Elio are independent of each other ways. Like K-pop Demon Hunter was somewhat known, but kind of a surprise-ish drop on Netflix. Predator Killer Killers was a surprise drop over on Disney Plus, and Elio was a traditional theatrical release, even though, frankly, Disney's promotion for it still kind of sucked. And I think you're seeing that a lot. Like, nobody saw Elio. People did not care about Elio. And for a lot of good reasons, frankly. Whereas K-pop Demon Hunter right now is huge. And I can't go 3 posts on social media without seeing someone talking about it. And then you have Predator over here that, again, no one's talking about on social media. And that word of mouth is just incredibly important for films these days. And it's kind of the question of animation of what works, what doesn't when it comes to how these are releasing.
Honestly, I don't know at this point, because for me, I'm doing a bit of a social media detox, so I didn't see any of this buzz around K-pop Demon Hunters like you did. But your recommendation to me, hey, watch this. It's from Sony Animation. Sony Animation made one of my favorite films of all time in The Mitchells versus the Machines, and not just because of the name of the film. And I was kind of...
I get it.
Yeah, because it's my name. But no, I absolutely, like, legitimately, I think that's probably in my top 10, if not my top 5 films of all time. And that was one that when it hit Netflix, everyone was talking about it. That was a big deal. And at least with this, other than here, like, I say I'm off social, but I still have like the group of friends that we both kind of socialize with through Discord and stuff like that. And no one's talking about any of this stuff. So it was more so Griffin, hey, movie friend who says I need to watch more stuff, pokes me and says, watch this thing. I take it seriously. You were right. And Sony Animation continues to kill it. Which is
I think what it is
funny to talk about on a Disney podcast, but...
Well, I mean, when it comes to it, animation right now, I think is such a tricky spot, right? Like, Pixar is in a very weird era of Pixar right now, where you had these stories that they wanted to tell. Yeah. And the corporate side of Disney is pulling a lot of those stories back right now for fear of where the world is at.
Yeah.
It feels like Elio was a massive... took a ridiculously large hit to what that story was and what that story was supposed to be because of where the world is at. Win or Lose also hit that. And again, I think when you have stuff like K-pop Demon Hunters or this movie, Predator Killer of Killers, what really makes them shine is that they had a vision, they have a creative vision, and they stick to that vision.
Yeah. I think in looking at those 3 examples from recent months, Elio has a studio behind it that is a household name, but it doesn't have the IP. You look at K-pop Demon Hunters. Again, this is one of the... I don't want to call it like a... It's a rising studio, I would say, in terms of its animation output, and it's starting to become a little more recognizable, but again, there isn't IP behind it. Predator is in an interesting boat where there's IP behind it and a creative team that has made one of the best Predator films of this franchise in Prey, but it's not a traditional animated property, which, I mean, thinking way back when Lucasfilm made the decision to release the first 3 episodes of the Clone Wars as a theatrical film, that was very risky at the time. And as far as I remember, it didn't do gangbusters in the box office, right? And again, it was taking what was traditionally live action, trying to translate it into animation and make it into something. And eventually that did become a much larger thing in the whole Clone Wars mythology and everything that came after that. So largely a success, but the actual decision at the time to go theatrical with that was an odd one.
I think additionally with an issue that Predator faces is that generally stigma around animation of animation is for kids. And there is, unfortunately, just a large subsect of movie audiences that are always going to think that. Like, I have been in a never-ending argument with my own little brother of, like, watch this thing. Oh, I don't want to watch that. That's animated. And I'm like, just trust me. It's amazing. But
I had to scream from the rooftops over the Mitchells versus the Machines, and I had to watch it with a ton of people that just like dismissed it. Oh, we don't want, like, it's animated, it's not Disney, I don't really care. Just watch the thing.
Yeah, this movie, I did this with my family because this had come out when I was visiting my parents. And I was like, just trust me, it's supposed to be good. I didn't know at the time. I was just going for it. But I knew it wasn't going to be traditional kids movies because, again, this is the Predator franchise.
This is one of the bloodiest animated films I've ever watched.
Oh yeah, the bloodiness in this rivals Invincible.
Yeah.
The dude literally gets his head chopped. That one dude gets his head chopped off.
By a shield.
I wasn't even talking about that guy. I was talking about the
Yeah,
dude in the plane.
that was brutal.
That multiple heads
One
get
dude gets
chopped
his arm.
off.
Dude gets his arm chopped off. Like, yeah, it doesn't slow down.
And I'm saying, like, the way that this is animated makes the blood pop out so well, whether it is the red human blood, but also the green predator blood. God, it's just so cool. Their colorization of this movie is so good. Oh, I love this movie, man. This movie is fantastic. But yeah, animation's at a really weird point right now. And I am curious to see where we go next. Like, at this point,
I think the
be
biggest,
like, what, 70% of what we talk about on this show is animated?
I mean, it's a Disney podcast. 70% of Disney's output is animated. It's either animated or there's computer animated elements in it. Everything these days, from special effects to CG to whatever it is, there's animated elements in every film. So I don't think there's any reason to discount a film for being 100% animation. When you look at something like the upcoming Fantastic Four First Steps, which will probably end up being about 80% animated. One, because it's in a neo-futuristic version of the 60s, and two, because stretchy limbs don't work without CG.
Or you have something like Superman, which is a recent release, and not something I'm going to spoil, especially on this show.
If you do, I'm quitting the podcast right now.
Mitch will fly down to
Trying to
Florida and
avoid
kill me.
spoilers on the internet is not fun.
But, like, that movie is incredibly animated because it's a superhero movie. Like, it just is.
And
Superman.
because James Gunn loves color and pop and animation.
Mm-hmm. And it works. But I think there is that natural element for those of seeing a human being that just genuinely helps audiences connect to it in a different way.
Yeah, I think a bigger challenge in front of animation and in front of film in general is this lack of willingness to try something new. Right?
Oh, yeah, I think we see that with Disney.
Those three examples were either an original property in animation, or they were a live action property being translated to animation, which had no standing within that franchise or within the animation community. So it's one of those things of, if it's not a sequel to The Mitchells versus the Machines, and it's not the new Smurfs movie coming out in a few weeks, and I saw a commercial for that today and was very surprised about that.
The animation for that looks weirdly good.
It does, but it's also the Smurfs.
Yeah, I'm not going to see it. I don't care.
Yeah, neither am I. If it's not a known quantity, people are less likely to take risks. And I think a large part of that has to do with either a change in preference from the film viewing audience, or it's simply a matter of dollars and cents of, I'm not going to spend my money in a place where either I haven't heard that I'm going to have a good time, which again, the word of mouth on this film wasn't fantastic, or it's, hey, it's a sequel to thing that I love. I love Toy Story. Let's go see Toy Story 5 in a couple of years, which we'll have words to say about that, I'm sure.
Another point where it's like, especially with Disney in particular, Disney and Pixar were the animation powerhouse for years. And it's like the meme, especially right now, is like, we have beat the big bad Disney. Disney is finally losing these things. Which is always hilarious to me to see stuff like that, because it's totally not like a rising tide lifts all boats.
No, because everybody's losing. It's not just Disney.
Yeah, everyone's... But we are getting these fantastic, amazing projects from other studios. And the thing that I'm kind of seeing here is that Disney hasn't... People are being like, oh, Disney's lost it. Disney hasn't lost it. Everyone else has caught up. And it makes me incredibly curious and incredibly excited to see what is that next jump. But I think we are at such a point, both politically within the world as we are, with the type of stories that corporations feel comfortable having within their platforms, and financially, where we are struggling to make money on literally anything, whether that is these big companies selling their movies, or also just us as human beings affording life, that next jump, or for storytelling through animation and just storytelling through movies and TV and whatnot in general, is years away.
Well, I think the other piece of this, speaking to the financial implications of the way people are spending their money, it's also studios spending their money on animation. Whether it's CG, hand-drawn, 2D, whatever it is, animation's really expensive. It takes hundreds of people to make these films. And if they're not seeing a return on that investment, studios are going to stop greenlighting these projects. one that I really want to call attention to that I didn't even know existed until I started doing research for this episode is that there is a completed 10-episode anime of Alien versus Predator that was shelved during the Fox acquisition by Disney that has never seen the light of day and has never been talked about since the acquisition. People get mad about Warner Brothers shelving the Wile E. Coyote Acme film and Batgirl and all of these things. No one's talking about Disney doing the goddamn same thing when they acquired Fox.
Yeah, I think it's just the issue is that just no one knew about it. No one cared. The Alien and Predator franchises are, in the grand scheme of things, not as big as other franchises. Even though they are awesome, like one of my favorite movies of last year was Alien Romulus.
I haven't seen it.
That was last year, right? That feels like it was last year.
Last year, the year before. For me, my like Alien franchise, I think I've only seen the bad ones. In that I think I've only seen Prometheus, if that counts.
Oof, Prometheus, yeah.
I think I watched Alien Covenant, and I haven't yet seen Romulus.
We should do an episode on Romulus at some point.
I'm done. Or we could just do the original Alien versus Predator, because I have a lot of nostalgia for that film, and it's terrible in all the best ways.
I mean, why not both?
That's also fair. I got some time on my hands.
Add them to the list.
Well, there's also the upcoming Alien Earth TV series, right?
Oh, yeah, true. Well, that would be a weekly show, though.
Yeah, it would.
Mm-hmm. We're looking
should
for what
wrap
our
up.
next weekly series is, so...
That would be an interesting one, because it would be our first Hulu weekly series, as far as I know. Because you refused to do It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia season 19 with me.
Look, I love the show. I'm not
The premiere is the crossover with Abbott Elementary, Griffin.
Did you see that one clip of Quinta's character cursing?
No, I watched the episode and heard her curse.
My
God.
That was that episode. I was like, yes.
If we're talking about the same thing, yes.
I was like, the only people that could drive this character to curse like that are the people from Always
Would
Sunny.
be the Sunny cast, yeah. It's like, oh, I got to curse. I think I got to say a bad word here. And he thinks she's going to say bitch. She didn't say bitch.
Bring it back.
Timothy Oliphant is in this new Alien Earth series. I'm excited about it just for that, because I'll watch anything Timothy Oliphant is in.
I'm going to quickly run through our stories here bit by bit. In the way that we normally do, where we talk about stuff, where we recap things, but I think that these are fairly quick to recap, because there isn't a ton to each. They have their own individual, unique storylines, which I really do like, and I think it lends itself very similar to like what I mentioned through Prey, Watch Prey.
Yeah, so, what do you think I'm doing after this?
Hobbling somewhere. I don't know.
Well, yeah, probably.
Anyways, okay, starting off with The Shield. This one takes place in Scandinavia in the year 841 of a Viking warrior named Ursa and her son Anders taking off to destroy the Kravich tribe and their leader, who had forced Ursa to kill her father. They just slaughter these guys. It is not even close. They
do not hold back. I thought Steve Rogers was a badass with a shield, and then I watched this.
Yeah, God, her shield combat of like the two broken shields that she just kind of ties to her fists.
Also, totally unrelated to this, but I saw this meme the other day that I wanted to talk about with you that I forgot to mention. How do you think the family of the dude that Bucky kicked into the propeller of that jet in Winter Soldier feels about him now running for Congress? He straight up donkey kicked someone into a plane engine in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but
Or Sparta kicks. He Sparta kicks them.
Look, everyone in the MCU seems to be pretty chill about the Winter Soldier was mind-controlled thing.
He straight up murdered people, and now he's a U.S. senator, but I guess that's kind of par for the course with U.S. government. Let's continue.
Yeah, normally they're more subtle about the people they kill.
Yeah.
But yeah, this whole like fight of them all is so cool. We get a little bit here of the prisoner they take and Anders not wanting to kill them because killing an unarmed prisoner bars you from the gates of Valhalla. Norse mythology and whatnot. Very cool. Love it.
Yeah, go play Assassin's Creed Valhalla or God of War Ragnarok. Or just God of War.
Read Norse mythology.
Or watch the animated film Beowulf. That was a movie that happened.
Or watch the TV series Norse Mythology.
Yeah. Or what was that other one? Was it God of? No, what the hell? I'm gonna look it up. You keep going.
Anyways, they eventually track down the leader, and Anders is the one to kill him. But after he gets killed, he is immediately attacked by a Yatja, who ambushes them and just wipes out everybody except for Ursa, kicking Ursa off a cliff.
American Gods. That's what I was
American
thinking
Gods,
of.
also fantastic.
Yeah, I started it and I never finished it, but I own the book, so I should probably just read it.
Yeah, you should really do both. But yeah, Ursa eventually.
That was also Norse. Oh, it kind of went all over the place.
It's a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ursa eventually manages to kill the Yacha. We get this great moment of basically everyone kind of just has to find the weaknesses of them, and a lot of them figure out that those weaknesses are the fact that they see heat, and that they rely on their tech. She finds this out by hiding in the icy river. She eventually manages to kill the Yacha, though, after it using its own tech to kind of spear it against something in the water. Anders then dies in her arms, and it's very sad. But it's only 20 minutes. We have to move super fast because now we're onto the sword. Where it is two brothers, Kenji and Kiyoshi, in 1609, feudal Japan. Sons of a samurai warlord. They are ordered by their dad to essentially have a duel, and one of them has to kill the other to figure out who the successor will be. Kenji refuses to fight. Kiyoshi does not, so Kenji runs away. Then we skip 20 years later, when Kiyoshi takes over. Kenji breaks in, essentially to just fuck with his brother.
Yeah, I mean, basically just, yeah.
Which is kind of hilarious to me. He makes this massive point, literally the only cut he does is just to return the cut that his brother did to him. And that's all he was going to do. He was going to disappear after that shit.
Well, it was one of those things where he just wanted to prove that he was as good as his brother, especially because his brother fought dirty and he didn't.
Mm-hmm. Like, it was totally this is what I can do. Just remember that. It is very much a brother move.
Oh, for sure. He's just fucking with him at that point.
But unfortunately, while he's doing this, the railing that Kiyoshi is leaning against breaks and he falls, presumably to his death. But he doesn't actually die. And then the Yacha attacks. Kenji does some real dope stuff in this one of getting away from him. One of my favorites is using his smoke powder to be able to circumvent the Yacha's invisibility.
Yeah, really, and that's what's so interesting here, and what I assume is also something that we see a bunch in Prey, of just using the tools at the time to, make the predator their bitch.
Yeah, it's my favorite bit of this one though is how it ends, of the brothers joining to fight the Yacha, and how it mirrors that opening of them sparring with the wooden swords, them catching the leaf at the beginning, and then the leaf falling onto the Yacha at the end, and that's when they attack. And it's just
felt very much like Ghost of Tsushima.
Very much so. Also, God, I'm excited for Ghost of Yotei.
I am, but I'm not. I'm not in a rush to I got such a backlog right now, and I'm also taking a month off of work because you can do that in Canada when you have a baby.
Must be nice.
So I got a backlog to catch up on before I buy anything new. That includes Donkey Kong, Yotei, doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I mean Yotei's the ways away.
Except I think I might have promised the person I game share with that I would buy Yotei, so maybe I am buying that.
But
maybe
yeah, the way it
mirrors
remember. That, it's just so cool, so beautiful. The colors of this, the yellow bleeding down from the trees while the predator's there, and his other guys bleeding out. It's just beautiful.
Oh yeah, when they do the rush each other and they both cut, and then you get the green blood on the swords as the predator just falls apart. Oh,
well, it's great because
really fun stuff they did here.
It's this great moment, right? It looks like they're about to fight each other again, and then you realize, wait, no, the predators are between them, and it's just this was easily my favorite of the three.
I would agree. Yeah, I like the idea. Well, the thing is, I also really like the Viking stuff because I thought the mother-son dynamic there was really touching and really hard to watch, which I think just denotes it as being really interesting media.
Yeah, I really like all three of them. To clarify, I just think the sword, the sword one being brothers, I think is just the brothers story hits for me the most. But yeah, going into the Bullet, 1942, John Torres is drafted into the U.S. Navy. We get this great bit at the beginning of he wants to be a pilot, but he's just terrible at the mechanic side of it. Gets his dad to help him out. We get this whole thing of like, I can't bail you out anymore. Scene.
I mean, it's kind of hard to avoid the draft.
It's like also kind of touching, but also, why are you just leaving your son by the side of the road with his draft notice? But he goes off to fight off an air carrier. We kind of get a little bit of backstory to him of he keeps breaking shit. All of the other Wildcats, though, take off to go fight what I think is just some pirates, but what turns out to be a Yacha starship. A little bit of the Yacha tech, though, still ends up on the ship with one of the planes. It didn't go off for whatever reason.
It's just an unfired grenade there just waiting to go off.
And Torres sets it off.
Of course he does.
Eventually, though, with him realizing what's going on, they're out of range, they can't communicate, so he goes up with his plane to communicate with them. Is like, hey, yo, we're fucked. And then they're all fucked. Because they're just
because that's what happens when you go up against the Predator.
Mm-hmm. And I loved seeing this combat. I wasn't expecting, like, air combat to be a big part of this, especially for Predator, which I've always seen as more of a, melee stuff, physical combat, even though it's not always melee. Like a lot of my knowledge of the Predator franchise comes from the video game.
Good game. I really enjoyed my time with that game.
But yeah, so they all fight. Everyone eventually dies except for Torres and his captain Vandy. Torres realizes the thing about heat that they, after knocking off I'm pretty sure a missile or a field canister or something from his wing.
It was, I think it was a blown engine.
Engine? I didn't know what it was.
Something like that.
But basically, like, the torpedo thing veers to hit the flaming thing rather than him. So he realizes heat. So they start climbing to cool their engines. Vandy sacrifices himself, and Torres uses the opportunity to destroy its engines. He does some other crazy shit in this, like flying through just an active war zone in the middle of World War II.
Active naval combat scene.
Thinking that will kill it, but it does not. That moment of it coming out of the water and the Predators there just looking pissed.
It was cool.
Torres realizes, though, to win, he has to flood his engine, and using that and his parachute and all the stuff he has, manages to blow up the Yacha and lands himself in the water. We flash forward then to post-World War II with him working in his garage. And a bunch of shit starts to shake. And we see another Yacha ship that abducts him. Bringing us into the final portion of this, the battle, taking place somewhere in space. I love seeing all the Predator tech here. I love seeing all the different versions of the Yacha as well. I love that they don't all look the same.
I think what the coolest thing about this movie is, like, apart from the way that it's shot and the different moments they have where everything just looks so sharp and so cool, this just feels like a fan's dream of, like, hey, what if the Predator fought a Viking? Or what if the Predator fought a samurai? Or what if the Predator was in a dogfight in World War II? Like, it's just a bunch of what-if scenarios. It was just fun to watch.
To their credit, all of these what-if scenarios could have been full movies. Like, I feel like all three of these ideas, with a little bit more fleshing out, could have been strong enough to carry a 90-minute film on their own.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree there. I think it could have made sense, like if they wanted to just do a series of shorts where each one of these was an episode, and then the finale episode is just the battle with whatever characters they wanted to pull together from a bunch of different episodes. I think that could have worked as well. But then it feels a little too similar to What If.
You add some of the training elements into like the sword or the shield, and you're getting closer and closer to that hour time. You flesh
Sure.
out some of the actual like the in between the action parts for these, and I think that's where you get that extra time to make them full length movies. Again, watch Prey. Anyways,
I'm
we go
working
into
on
the
it.
battle here. Basically, they're told, you all have to kill each other, and then me, the big evil one that has a cape for no reason, is going to kill whoever wins. We get this great moment. All the communication in this scene is hilarious to me. Of Torres just doing his best here, and then Ursa and Kenji being like, doing their own shit.
Yeah.
Eventually, though, they're starting to fight. They think Torres dies to this giant monster that they kill. But he actually is able to escape, take some of their tech and disable the bomb collars that they're wearing, and also steal a hover bike. They all flee toward the Grendel King spaceship. Ursa and Kenji fight him while Torres tries to figure out how to handle the ship. The Grendel King's about to win. It's pretty typical combat stuff for a bit there. As they're all getting away, though, they attack him, and Kenji loses his arm, which is just brutal.
Yeah. But this whole movie is brutal.
As they're flying away, they get hit by a harpoon. Ursa then sacrifices herself, swinging back down to destroy the thing that shot the harpoon. As they begin to take off into the sunset, she gives a great speech here of like, "You couldn't do shit. My boys are gone." Honestly, probably one of the best line deliveries in the movie.
Yeah, no, it's great.
They suspend her back into animation, though, as they send off a hunting party to go take down Kenji and Torres, who are presumably going to die. We'll just never see it. Maybe. Ursa is put back into suspended animation alongside a shit ton of other captives, including Naru, the main character of Prey, which is a awesome moment if you understand.
Is it? I didn't care. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, that
awesome
might be
for
that
me.
same person, probably.
It was awesome for me, and it's also a great way to get you to go watch Prey.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch that now.
And that's the end of this movie. We have successfully completed yet another movie on this show. Genuinely, this movie is fantastic. If you have gotten this far and you haven't seen it, go watch this movie. Like, it is 90 minutes.
You've gotten this far and haven't seen it. What are you still doing here?
If you like, it's super easy to chop it up. I think it's really easy to watch them piecemeal, and honestly treat it more like a show. If your attention span does not allow you to sit through all of this at once, like
Happens.
mine.
Like, again, it would have also worked as an anthology series of a 4-episode anthology series, and maybe stretching that out over 4 weeks could have given them that bump in viewership, that word of mouth that would have helped it, retain a top spot for a little longer. From what I read, it was the 3rd most watched film on streaming for the week that it released, which is great. But I don't think anything else released that week. So I'm also wondering, how did that do that? So
I think
something
what's interesting is,
for Disney and the folks at 20th Century to take away and figure out what the path forward is for surprise film releases like that.
yeah, it really is the interesting one of everyone who talked about this movie likes this movie. And like we are right there with them of go watch this movie. It really is worth the time to go see it. That said,
Agreed.
It's something you have to search out. And that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Mitch, I hope you heal soon. I hope you finally play Epic Mickey.
4 to 8 weeks was the prognosis, so I'm not very positive right now, Griffin.
Okay, well, we'll expose you to some cosmic rays next episode, and we'll hope that helps.
Yeah,
Or
just
maybe
send me
in a
to
past
space. That
episode.
should work, right?
I don't know how healing works in space.
Yeah, I wish I did too.
Anyways, folks, we will see y'all in the next episode. But until then, be good to each other and have a magical day.